voice in life's sweet line. Sheriff Miller by his side. Lively Blue Reds, hearts supply.
Brought to you by Big Rapids Tire, Zott's Bar and Grill, Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes, M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing, and by M&M Collision Center. Well, here we are, running a little bit behind, and if you're looking for Steve Lobert, we're going to have him on after this show because he wasn't going to be here last minute to let me know, and then I had to get a best of, and I didn't. So we will get that after this show this morning. So it's time for Curry's Hot Stove League. Hello to Sheriff Brian Miller.
Morning. How are you?
All right.
Pat's here too.
Yeah, Pat's here. Yeah, he's preparing himself.
Yeah.
So actually, I have to go out to the lobby and do some things too. So
yeah. Well, maybe Coach can sit there then in your seat. How's that? Usually we'll do that.
Yeah. Well, Pat can get the camera framed up.
Yeah, we have one of our guests that was going to sit in Pat's seat. We had to quickly warn her about doing that.
Now Kyle's supposed to be here, I guess.
Well, initially I wasn't going to be here, work things, and then work things have changed a bit, so I'll be leaving a little early.
We'll trade things out, but maybe some. I have that. There we go. Now everybody. We have a studio. We have two studios
Saige.
Full of people this morning.
All right. Well, yeah, we got a great guest this morning. So Pat kind of gave me some direction here a week ago and said, "Hey, this is who I want on the show next week. Can you set it up?" Pat was gone, and so I did that. I got a hold of Coach Raven after the successful year they had. I know we had Coach Raven and three of his players on just probably about 5-6 weeks ago. Not even that, but with the successful season they had, Pat wanted to recap it and get back into it. So I got a hold of Coach, and he brought himself. Assistant Coach Shawn Phillips is in with us too. And then in the studio, we also have three of the players. I'll let them introduce themselves. We have two veterans and then a rookie. So I'll let them introduce themselves. I'm sure Coach will want to get on a little bit too, both coaches, but I think players make the coach, right? So we'll start. Well, Saige is pointing. Even though Saige is probably the youngest one in the group, she's probably... Oh, Maddie. Okay. She's full of energy, I guess I'd call it. So, and I was warned about her by her grandmother. So we'll start with that's your mother. But
I'm Kathleen Nawrot. I'm a senior and a forward.
I don't know what position.
Okay, and
I'm Madeline, and I am a junior.
Okay.
I play basketball.
all right.
I'm Saige Ososki. I'm a junior, and I play basketball.
All right. Yep. And makes bunnies. So that was probably one of the... So I'm going to just recap. So you guys had a real tight game with Everett leading up to the last game there. The Everett game was a close one, and you guys came out on top. And then you guys played Roscommon, and that was a game that was back and forth. My son Cameron and I watched it that evening on the app NAFHS, and we're I guess probably you guys played two of the best basketball games at any level that can be played back to back, as far as I'm concerned. And I think the highlight of it for me were the three bunnies that were made by Saige. We had her cousin in last week, Pat. You weren't here.
Wow.
Kyle was, and her cousin Brody said, "Yeah, did you hear what she said?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." We were watching, and Brody said, "Yeah, something happened there."
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get it.
That's all right. We got to have technical problems there. Bob,
All right, that's
get a haircut.
So, Saige, tell us about the three bunnies. Tell us about getting fouled and falling on your backside and then getting up and going to the line.
Okay, well, I knew we had to get a 3 so we could win or tie. And I dig it up to the... Riley tossed me the ball. I jumped up and I flopped, okay? I flopped and I tried just to get the foul, and it worked. So I got the foul, I went to the line, and in my head I'm like, okay, I'm screwed, but I got us in line. I'm like, if I don't make these, Ray will probably cut me from the team. So I put them in. Those puppies went in.
So, Pat, do you know her grandmother?
So I know most of their grandmothers because I'm their age.
Yeah, not Grandma Ososki. But her grandmother last Friday. Last Friday, I was at Remus Tavern, and Grandma comes walking up to me because I know the family pretty well, and says, "What'd you think of my granddaughter?" You know, and you know what? Of all my grandkids, you know who the one's most like me? She goes, "Is Saige." She goes, "She's, you know, never has a thought that's unspoken, and is, you know, just she's me." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can see that." And I remember that night when she was at the line, I go, "Cameron, that chick she's got nerves, you know, just she's ice in those veins right now." And all three went in, and you guys continued to battle. Just, you know, came out on the losing side, but nothing to hang the heads about, and something to be proud of, and you know, just a great season.
Who's her grandmother? The one you're talking about?
That's Angie's mother. I don't know her
Sally.
first. Sally.
Sally. What's the last name?
Thompson.
Sally Thompson. She goes to St. Mary's, Pat.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see her at. Well, a lot of times she actually goes to St. Paul's more than St. Mary's.
Yeah. Well, all I got to say is I want to thank God for allowing me on the radio 103.9 this morning. Good morning, Bob. I saw you get a haircut there. You know, we are so fortunate in this area to have such great coaching, first of all. You guys have talent, of course, but you have to have great coaching to get where you're at. And Mr. Bob Raven, to me and to a lot of other people he probably doesn't even know, talk very highly of him. And they always say, Morley Stanwood's lucky to have Bob Raven. I said, you know, that's quite a compliment. And he deserves it. My question to Bob, get a mic, Bob. A lot of people said, how long has he been down there? He's got to be an old man now. And I said, well, you know, you'd like to put him in that category of B with Patino there. You know, I watched Patino coach St. John's the other night there at, I was down in Florida there. We were down in Florida. I just want to tell you, the sun is shining down there. People are happier than heck because of that sun shining. But so I don't watch a lot of college basketball, but the finals I do, you know. Mm-hmm. And Patino, a great coach, and he kept those guys in the game right till the end, and then, of course, they won that game. But Coach Raven kind of emulates him a little bit. You know, he takes year in and year out. He's always got great teams, doesn't matter where he's at. Obviously, stays at Morley Stanwood for a lot of years. But when I say you don't know where he's at, he has a different team. He keeps that chemistry going, and that's quite a compliment to him. And I just wanted to say congratulations, Coach, because you're seeing a lot of great players, and I know you're very humbled by your accomplishments. But behind every good coach, there's got to be an assistant coach to wash that floor sometimes and make sure he substitutes right. And I think he's got him with him today. I would just like to congratulate both you guys. Mecosta County is very, very proud to have Morley Stanwood in our area. Bob, this is how many years now?
Well, coaching, I think 34, with the girls 28.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And then is Shawn even 38 or 28?
No, I think he's 18.
Was he born when you started coaching?
I coached Shawn when he was in school.
When you said you coached him. Wow.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Then,
So you stuck around all these years, eh, Shawn?
Well, no, I actually went into the Air Force, so I came back after I retired from the Air Force and saw Bob one day at the school and said, hey, could you use some help coaching? I'd like to get back into the sport. And so that was about 10 years ago now, so I've been helping him for 10 years, coached boys for a little while with him, and then switched over to girls. So you
retired out of the Air Force?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations on that, but we want to thank you for being a veteran.
When you leave, I want to get your phone number so we can. I want you to talk to my son.
All right.
Okay.
So how many years in the Air Force?
I was actually 14, so I got medically retired.
So are you working now outside of coaching?
Yes, I work for GE Aerospace. So.
Oh, in Grand Rapids?
Yes. Yep.
Wow, so you got quite a commitment to get up here and help him coach.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. You know, one of the good things that came out of COVID is a lot of us got to work from home, and I've stuck with that. They've let me stay there. So I work from home, so it's nice. I get to get out and go up and coach and help. So very flexible, I'm very blessed for that.
Yeah, as an assistant coach, I'm sure like all assistant coaches, you kind of watch the coach. What is it that makes Bob year in and year out be very competitive at Morley Stanwood? I mean, you can have some great athletes, but that doesn't mean you're going to have a great chemistry of a team. I know I talked to Andy Brockham about that a little bit. I says, have you ever had that star that you think that he has the most gift in the world to play basketball, but he doesn't know there's 4 other guys on the team? He goes, yes, I have. And I said, what do you do with them? He said, I get rid of them. Isn't that sad? But there's people out there. So that's where a coach comes in and says, hey, we got to have the right chemistry. What is it about Bob Raven? Let's just, I know it's, Bob, you shouldn't even be here because we're going to talk about you a little bit. But I just don't, I like to understand more about Bob Raven. So do the people in the community. I mean, this guy,
quality.
He's right there every year.
Just quality.
Yeah. And then if you talk to the girls that play for him, they all smile and they all say, I was happy to play for Bob. He got the most out of me. That's quite a compliment there too. But in your words, what do you think separates him from the average guy that goes 10-10 every year?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got the experience. Obviously, he's been doing it a long time, but just the basketball IQ, I think he always had that from the days as a player and to carry over in coaching. But just as a person, really, just knows how to tap into that potential for each player, knows which ones he can push a little bit harder, which ones to, pull back a little bit on, and just always has a way to get through to him. I've been coaching with him for 10 years and learned a lot. He's been my mentor with coaching, and I appreciate it. And just watching him, the X's and O's, and just how he carries himself, the officials, everything, just keeps calm. Big games, there's not too much he hasn't been through. So
let's go through those big games real quick. It was a bittersweet for me to watch Everett and Morley Stanwood. I hated that matchup.
I agree.
Do you, Bob? Yeah, because it's tough.
Somebody had to lose.
Yeah, I know it. And I just felt so sorry for Everett.
I agree.
But in the same hand, I felt great for Morley Stanwood. But two great coaches, two really absolute caring coaches, and they want what's best for the team, and that's the win. So I was listening to that game. I'm thinking, oh my Lord, who do I want to win this? And it came right down to champions, and obviously you guys took it, Bob. But yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Bob, because it's tough, isn't it? When you know you got to win, you got the girls, you want to win for the girls, but you look over at the other bench and go, oh Lord.
And I know Shawn is a great coach, and I've been through that myself. His daughter was a senior. We have a lot of respect for Everett. We know we were fortunate to win that game. It could have went either way.
Yeah.
It just happened that we ended up.
I just right a little bit, get you in the camera shot here. Your sheriff is blocking you out. Go to you.
I've been blocked by no finer people than.
There's the camera. Just get right in the range.
Over here, Bob.
Oh, geez.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Bob, did you get a haircut?
I did not.
Okay, go ahead, Bob.
So no, I wanted to echo what you were saying. It was cool that we had two local teams in the regional final.
Yeah.
We were guaranteed that we were going to have one local team in the quarters, but it's bittersweet. We felt what it's like to lose that next game. So
Yeah, talk about the next game. I mean, you went up against Roscommon, was it?
It was, yes.
And they moved the games around. Do you think that much time in between games hurt you a little bit, or was that helping you a little bit for rest wise, or?
Well, that's a great question. I don't really know. This guy right here is so good at prepping, watching film. He watches a lot of film. He reaches out to a lot of coaches. So we had a lot of film on Roscommon. But I wish the MHSA would do something about that. It's a pretty quick turnaround from that regional final on Friday to turn around and play on Monday night. But it was for both teams, so I don't know if that was a factor or not. But yeah,
Roscommon had a big girl who down low, I think.
Yeah, they had two sisters that were strong.
Yeah.
And they were probably a little bit deeper than us as far as rotating players. So, I mean, it could have had a factor, but
I think it just on any given night. I mean, I think you play that team 10 times, and it's 6'4" you, 5'5", or I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I would like to think. I mean, we were right there.
You guys were. I mean, it was an excellent game.
Well, let's do it then, Brian. You got connections up with their sheriff up there in Houghton County or whatever that county.
It was Misaki.
Misaki.
Yeah, they played in Misaki.
Yeah, you got pulled. Figure get a good another
Deputy
game
Lisinski
going.
was there that night. I think he went up with the team, and
Yeah, he actually led the bus up to the county line. It was pretty cool.
yeah, and then was so I had to reach out to the sheriff, Sheriff Yancer up there, and let him know that Jason was going to be there.
Well, you know, Bob, you win against Everett, bittersweet, like you say. You know, you feel bad for him, but you obviously got to be happier than heck when you won that game. Then you go into Roscommon, like you say, it's a big team and everything, and how do you match up with something like that? Do you just play your game and let them play against you, or do you play against them on defense and say, we got to box out better, we got to do this? It was a pretty good game, though, wasn't it, between the two?
It was. The first half, we got exactly what we saw on tape, and they threw a couple different presses at us. We turned the ball over a little bit more than we would like, and, you know, it's just hard to simulate that length and that athleticism that they had.
Right.
But I thought our girls adjusted well to it in the second half. You know, we got down 8-0 in the first 30, 45 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
Had to burn a timeout, and then we climbed back into it, and it was pretty even.
But you know, it's got to be, I smile for you because I don't know if you ever pinch yourself. That's just a saying, of course. You get in trouble if you pinched yourself. But
pinch others.
You got there, you know, you got there. And afterwards, when you get beat in a big game like that, you know, you're 2 away from state championship. You're sitting there going, oh, if we could have just done this. But on the other hand, a lot of teams quit 3 weeks prior to that, you know, and they were out of it the first round. You know, they get up there and get beat the first district game. You guys didn't do that. You guys went right on and had a great postseason there. And you got to be pretty proud of that accomplishment. What did you think after you got beat?
Well,
goes through a coach's mind.
I think I got about an hour's sleep. You play back every play, especially in the second half. And then I'm not saying that there was anything particular we could have done, but just one more bounce here or there, and we're playing. And we're playing in the Breslin.
I know it, but you know thank God we're still alive and we're still here. You know, that's what I say. You got to really appreciate your accomplishments this year. I mean, you got beat, but let's face it. You know, eventually in life, except for Brian Miller, everybody's been beaten. I mean, he runs for sheriff. He wins it overwhelmingly, but a lot of sheriff races are real close, and the guy that gets beat sleeps there at night, like you say, and says, how did I get beat? What could I have done differently? But in basketball, in any sport, it doesn't matter what it is, there's always somebody going to be pecking at you just as good, if not better, and you have to accept that. So what would you say to a young coach starting up right now, and he's like Shawn there, he takes over your shoes some days. Someday he's going to take your shoes and wear them. What do you say to him as far as what's the end result really? I mean, how are you going to accept defeat?
Yeah, I would tell any young coach, just be yourself.
Yeah.
And I tell the girls this all the time when we lose. It's, you know, competition, and losing is part of it. And that's part of the life lesson. You know, enjoy the wins when they come, and
lose gracefully.
Yeah.
So now you coach any other sports too?
Oh, I did, but I don't anymore.
That's what I thought.
Semi-retired.
Baseball, wasn't it?
I did, yeah.
But you miss that?
I do. I love baseball.
Yeah.
But it was time to turn it over to somebody else.
Yeah. So now you're going to continue with basketball.
I think that's my plan right now.
Right. Well, I'm sure you're going to be the coach. But so do you kind of look at what you got next year and talk to the girls about what we got coming up? And start all over again.
Yeah.
What is that like? I mean, you get done, and then all of a sudden, shoot, 8 months, we're going back at it again, girls, or 6 months actually, huh?
It's part of the coaching cycle. Is you know, we're going to lose a great couple forwards, and Caitlin and Alexis, and we're going to have to figure out next year. We're going to be pretty guard heavy. We're already been talking about probably changing things up to fit our personnel. But I think good coaches, you have to kind of adapt to your personnel and not try to pigeonhole them into something that they're not.
Mm-hmm. So I always preach on this purpose of life. Everybody has to have a goal. Everybody has to have a purpose. And I always say sometimes the goal, I don't know if you should ever reach it, because if you don't, you're always going to strive for it and you're going to try your best to get there. Purpose is very important in a man's life, in a woman's life. Your purpose obviously is coaching basketball.
Yeah.
If you weren't coaching basketball, what would your purpose be in life?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Helping people somehow. Or
Right.
Working with people.
But you don't even really have to think about it.
No.
Because your purpose in life is coaching, and you really enjoy it. You're very passionate. And once again, I want to congratulate you. You had a great year this year. I'm very proud. Mecosta County is behind you 100%.
And we feel that. We do. We're fortunate. You know, when I came to Morley Stanwood 30-some years ago, I didn't know if I was sticking around, but it was a pretty easy decision once I got here and got,
Traditionally
settled in.
speaking, and I'll let it go, we'll get back to the girls here, but traditionally, Morley Stanwood has always had good coaches. I mean, it goes back to 4 days, and I mean, he was looked at as one of the best baseball coaches anybody could ever get back in the day.
And I helped Ron out when I first started and learned a lot, both in baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
And then I took over for Chris Wernett, the girls program, and he was very successful. And I felt honored that he came and personally asked me if I would be interested in taking over for him and kind of continue the tradition.
Well, then now you got the Hunties coming up down there. Alexis is coaching the
Alexis
boys,
is
right?
doing a great job.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, great family there.
Yep.
It's cool.
Clark's got a lot of grandkids coming up here.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I see him. The one's playing, or I guess the one daughter married Mart's boy there. What the hell's his first name?
Caleb.
Thank you. Their little daughter, not little, she's quite tall. She's going to be reckoned. She'll be playing for Morley Stanwood.
Well, we hope.
Well, she's playing for St. Mary's right now as a walk-on. But she's pretty good. She added a lot to St. Mary's team. I don't know if they got beat.
No, they didn't.
Coffee vodka, it's the best drink you can put together. You know, if you don't start drinking early in the morning, you can't say you've been drinking all day, Bob. No, I'm not drinking, girls. Back to you, girls. So you're all smiling over, giggling, gaggling over there, and having a good time, huh?
When Bob's talking, you look in the faces, and I'm kind of listening to Bob and watching their reactions.
Yeah. Well, I just want to take a moment right now and tell you guys, you're watching history in the making here. The great Bob Raven, right? And so 10 years from now, you can turn on your little Facebook and pull this page up and say, gosh, I remember Coach Raven. He meant a lot, so much to us. We didn't really know how lucky we were to play for a guy like that, a legend, Bob Raven. Enough bragging him up. Next thing you know, he'll be asking for a raise down at Morley. Superintendent will be calling me up saying, cut it out. But anyway, girls, this is the last year for two of you?
One.
Me.
Just
Caitlin.
you. Okay. So what has this year meant to you?
It's meant a ton. We really meshed well as a team, and with Rave, it was just a great season to end on and go out on.
Was there tears at that last game?
Oh, a ton.
Isn't that something? You just your whole life boils down to those moments. It's like mom and dad are there to understand what you're going through, but there's so much love in that group there.
We were crying and hugging for quite a while after.
Yeah, but then the next day you wake up and thank the good Lord you got another day. Now you play other sports, eh?
Not in the spring. So I ended with basketball. I do volleyball and basketball.
Oh yeah. And you had a great career, 4 years, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wouldn't change it for nothing, would you?
Nope.
No. Why do you think you got beaten that last game?
Well, we let them get that early lead, and I think it kind of flustered us, and we rushed quite a bit, and it was a game of catch up. So I think that in the end was probably what led to the loss.
Mm-hmm. Was it a pretty good team? Did they handshake you well?
Yeah, they were. It was good.
Yeah, they were happier, right? Did you wish them well?
Yeah, and I played with a couple of their girls on my travel team, so I knew them. So it was.
That's fun, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I like about those travel teams. Big Rapids girls, Reed City girls, Everett girls, whoever, they get that mix, and then as life goes on, they're friends forever, right? Yeah. How about you? You're a sophomore or junior?
Junior.
And your name is what again?
Maddie.
Maddie, yes. How can I forget Maddie? Maddie. So is your nickname Mad Dog?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Is it? I named my granddaughter Mad Dog. So you're a what, junior?
Yeah.
So you have one more year?
Yeah.
What are you looking for next year? Same results?
Farther.
Farther. You think you can make
States.
it farther? I know you got to have that. Yep, you got. But who do you got coming in to replace the champ over here? Tall. You're taller though. How tall are you? 5'7", 8"?
5'9".
5'9".
Maddie might be playing in the middle next year.
Are you, Maddie?
Yeah.
How tall
I
are you
don't
then?
know.
Because those seats are a little short. Oh, you're standing
5'8",
up.
5'9".
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
Saige is standing up.
And then you're going to be a senior too?
Next year,
Saige?
yeah.
No, yeah, Saige.
Next year.
And then you got some. How many juniors, seniors are next year's team? How many you got on?
Oh my gosh.
5, I think.
5 seniors.
5 seniors.
Oh, you'll be senior heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a plus because this year you're only one senior?
We had
2.
4.
Oh.
Oh, you did have 4.
But 2 starters.
Yeah.
2 starters?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so you guys got some, pretty good team coming back next year. What was the record this year again? How many losses?
24 and 3.
So you lost.
22 and 4. 3.
Wow, that's
2.
and that's 28, isn't it? Good for you. Having fun, aren't you, this morning, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's all about. Now, do you guys have Red Bull in the morning or just a
No.
5-hour energy?
I just give Maddie a wet willy and
There you go. I love it.
Yeah.
This is great.
So I'm glad Saige is here. I mean, she adds a little bit to the party, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's their point guard, So
Okay.
there's your quarterback, there's your voice, there's,
Are they this way in the practices, Bob?
That's why I wanted to grab the microphone. This is our team right here. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, my Lord. They got a lot of character.
They do.
don't
They do.
Yeah, this is
But,
great.
it all starts with chemistry. And,
Yeah.
we
You're a snorter.
we go up to Gaylord every summer for a team camp, and
Oh, you do?
it started there. And
Yeah.
we knew we had a good group, and that's why you get so darn mad at them when we're in January playing
Right.
like
Kaka.
yeah. And
Oh, my
because
Lord.
I don't think they believed me that we could make this run, and they had it in them, but obviously they did. And
Didn't you really?
no.
I didn't think we were going this far.
Really? Wow, that's awesome. Why is that?
I don't know. We just, a lot of the time, we don't take things seriously, as you can see, and we're joking around. So it just
Wow.
was kind of a surprise. Just kind of a surprise. Like, I knew that we had the talent, but I never kind of thought that we would.
When you focus in, though, and
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
the
gonna
talent's
say-
there.
Games, it's different.
when the game's on, they're focused.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Practice,
for
we're not.
Lexi.
Yeah, except for Lexi. But
Yeah.
Did you know a
She's
lot of the
not
players from Everett?
Yeah, I also played with Kyra Gray, the
Okay.
senior. So she was on my travel team, so I knew her too.
So what was that like playing?
Well, it was like I knew how she played, and I knew that she's really good, and it was just kind of, the better team will win. I didn't personally match up with her. Maddie guarded her, but it was fun.
What was the end score on that game?
Right?
Do you remember, Coach? I can't.
Was it like
Yeah, I think it
48,
was like-
We won by
48,
3.
45, maybe?
Yeah, you only won by 3, I think.
Yeah.
We were in the 50s.
44.
No, it was like 48.
But,
So that-
but honestly, you look at those 2 games there to
Yeah.
finish out the season, and like I said, regardless of level of whatever level it was, those are 2 outstanding games that that team played, and I guess you can see if they're loose here, then they're going to be a little bit more loose on the court, and not maybe be as uptight about things. And I think maybe that probably has something to do with it.
That is very true. And I tell the story. They get sick of my stories, but in 2012, when we won the state championship, all the workers at the Breslin Center said, we knew your team was going to do well, because when you guys walked in, you just had, you didn't take yourself too seriously. You were laid back and confident, but they said, we like to try to pick who's going to win, and we picked you guys just because of your demeanor. And it turned out that we did all right that year.
Who did you play in the finals that year?
Grosse Pointe Leggett.
Wow.
Yeah.
They had missed basketball, and she ended up going to U of L and playing. We held her to 42.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Wow. What the hell was the score?
I was in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys had some score. Did you have Hunty on that?
Lexus and Bailey Carenduff and
Bailey.
Stark. Yeah, we had.
Do you know Joe Carenduff, her dad?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, he's the best.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're the best.
No, Joe is, when he was the sergeant on CMAT, he was. Yeah, but Joe was awesome.
Well, Bob, I don't know of any other program that has won a state championship in girls basketball in this area, is there? So the odds are pretty high to win that. What the hell went through your mind when you won that? It's like, did you realize what you just accomplished, something that never was accomplished before in Mecosta County?
No, I mean, it was, and I knew we had a good team and those kids were seniors.
A lot of good teams.
Yeah, and we'd had chances the last 3 years, but we just couldn't get it done. So to actually get it done there last year was.
But them girls must have been, let's talk about them. They must have been very mature for their age.
More than their coach.
To understand that game. No, but I mean, just to understand what they were getting into. I mean, the nerves. You're going to a state championship. How many girls were on the team? 9?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so not 13 or 14. No. So you're counting on a few girls to make this thing happen. Yeah. Now the opposite, the opposing team, they have a lot of money down there in that program. They probably 12 months a year they play basketball. And that's their one sport that they're going to win it all. They must have been devastated. Did their coach say anything that you remember?
Well, I think they thought they were kind of a shoe-in to win it.
Right. So. Well, you would think so because you're just a little podunk town across the county coming down here thinking you're going to play with us. And they play probably better competition than you guys played, so they played up.
Yeah, and we outnumbered them fan-wise probably 15 to 1.
Really?
Yeah, they just had a tiny crowd. We had... Both towns were there.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
I mean, we haven't had it, we never had it before. And gosh.
And in this quarterfinal game, we traveled well. Our fans showed up. And
Oh, yeah, they will.
Even though it was crappy weather. You were probably down in Florida.
Yeah, I was, But I was one of the lucky people. But, I just, if you look at Big Rapids, Morley, Stanwood, Chippewa Hills, Reed City, and Everett, the one thing is we all root for each other when we get further than we do, and when we do, we're very competitive against each other. But I always go back to saying about Reed City throughout my whole life, some of the nicest people I ever met are from Reed City, and they deserve to win. Their community always gets behind them, and the same thing with Morley, Stanwood. The other thing what's unique about small communities like Morley and Reed City and Everett is the coaches are involved with the community. The community knows that coach. And let's face it, if you like somebody, you're going to support them. You look at Shawn Gray up there in Everett, a lot of people like that guy. I mean, he's got a history of winning and stuff, and that's a compliment to that whole community. It's not just Shawn Gray, it's the community got behind Shawn. But why did they get behind him? Because he got behind them. And you go up there to Reed City, Brennan Walsh, man, he's turning that program around. He didn't have a great year this year, but I expect next year, next few years, he's got to, it takes a few years to turn things around, and people are backing him big time. They have a great AD up there in Hanson. He's backing Brennan big time. And then you go down to Morley, same thing with you guys. The Hunties, the whole community gets behind you, and then this is what you get from that. And Big Rapids, too. I mean, Big Rapids has a big following. You look at the hockey program, you guys supported that big time. I understand Tim's retiring.
Yeah, I wasn't going to... Yeah, yep. We had our banquet on Sunday, and Tim got up, and it was tough. I mean, tough for all of us. Tough for him, but I get it. He's got a couple young kids, and Jackson is 10, and it's time to coach him and step back. And he's been doing it 21 years. We were fortunate. It was a kind of a shock.
Yeah,
but congratulations to him, and thank you for what he did for our boys and the program.
Yeah.
You talk about Caitlin's last night here a couple weeks ago, and our last night over there at Tawas was tough too. The boys were on the ice.
Oh yeah.
I know. Seeing Cameron and Tim's hug, and then all of us parents waiting for the boys. it's like I said, that was Caitlin's last sport, but we got baseball now, and as much as I want baseball to start, I don't.
I know.
But that means that it'll be ending, and it's a circle of life.
Yeah.
Really. You want to break, and then we'll come back and talk to the girls?
That's what I was going to say. Good idea, Brian. Let's take a break and thank our sponsors, Zott's Bar and Grill and Big Rapids Tire and M&M Collision, M&M Landscaping, and Daggett Gilbert Funeral Home. We'll be right back.
Come say cheers at Zott's Bar and Grill in Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people, where everybody knows your name. Zott's, people's choice for best soup. You don't want to miss their award-winning burgers and chili as well. Originally opened in 1933 and serving it up ever since. Seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Roxanne and Doug at Zott's Bar and Grill are proud sponsors of the Signature Player of the Week for the Curries Hot Stove League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
Hooked at Curries.
Hey, I want to tell you something. Their sandwiches are incredible. But get the cheeseburger with caramelized onions. You won't ask where the beef is.
Hi, this is Pat Curry. We're right here with Brian Miller at 1039. We talk about what's happening with sports in Big Rapids. Well, we got a new sponsor. None other than the Great Body Shop right on Maple Street, east of the bridge in Big Rapids, Michigan. It's called M&M Collision Center. They're celebrating 30 years of trusted, top-quality auto body repair and remains the name you can trust. Whether you have a major collision repair or a minor fender bender, our award-winning team has you covered. With free loaners and vehicle detailing with every repair. They work with all insurance companies and treat every vehicle like it's one of their own. From auto body repairs to supporting local community organizations, giving back to the community is part of who they are. Come and see Matt and Devin and Trish and Justin. Just a great group of people there. Come and see why Big Rapids trust M&M Collision Center of Big Rapids, where quality and community come together.
When was the last time you checked your tires? At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks, they do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout or worse. Visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.
This is Alec Gary of Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes in Big Rapids and Barrington. I believe what sets Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes apart from everyone else is our commitment to service excellence. When a family calls, we are there before, during, and after the funeral experience. I want you to be able to trust calling us. You know, we're here to guidance and counsel each and every single family to each and every single need. And we just feel like the commitment to families, especially ones that put their care and trust in us, we are going to go above and beyond to do anything we can to help a family during their time of loss. This is Alec Gary, a legacy of service, a promise of care with Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes, located in Big Rapids and in Barrington.
It's snowing. Again. And the last thing you want is to have to deal with that old clunky snowblower that might not even start. Or perhaps you've been told that shoveling is not a very good idea for you. Well, wouldn't you like to have the peace of mind knowing that your driveway and walks will be taken care of? M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing wants to give you that peace of mind. No matter how long or short your driveway is, M&M can take care of it. If you just want snow plowing and walk shoveling, or if you like the full treatment with a layer of salt, they can do that as well. If you're a business owner, you know that an unplowed parking lot means lost revenue. Let M&M take care of it before your doors open. Remember, customers on the plow list get first priority when the snow comes. All it takes is a phone call to M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing, 231-796-4956. When winter rears its ugly head, and it will, take comfort that M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing is here to serve you. All right, we are back.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Pat is not.
Yeah, Pat went out in the lobby with the coaches. They had their own. Yeah, you guys have your own discussion going on.
So, Bob, I tell you what, we were just talking. Bob, do you want to tell that story real quick? how small a world it is. He was asking me how Florida was, and I told him, I said, sunshine, a couple of days of rain, but sun came right back out. And one thing about down there is, as it is up here too, when the sun shines, everybody's happy. I mean, how can you be gloomy and doomy when the sun's shining and it's 80 degrees? You can't be. You got to be happy. And if you're not happy, you go to ABC Warehouse where they have any kind of liquor you want, and I'll be sure to be happy down there. One thing they don't have down there, and I really appreciate it, was the scent of marijuana, Brian.
Oh.
There was no smell of marijuana.
What's that like?
Because it's clean air. But we went to this huge flea market in North Fort Myers. It's called Flea Masters. And I met some people down there. The vendors were very nice. Some from Tennessee. They're mostly all from the north area. But it's a huge flea market. Bob, are you listening? Because I want you to listen. If you ever get to Cape Coral, it's just on the north side of Fort Myers, pretty close to Jerry and Linda Nielsen's house and the Watsons. They all live right down in there. This thing is huge. It'll take you a whole day to walk through it. But anyway, no smell of marijuana in Fort Myers or anywhere you went, which was kind of cool. But I went to that flea market and I could smell weed. And like a good coon dog that I am, I can smell out anything. And I said to my wife, I smell weed. She goes, you can't. It's illegal here. But sure enough, they had a vendor there, medical marijuana. So I said to the guy, I coughed 3 times, knocked on the door twice. I says, I need some weed. How hard is it to get it? He says, not hard at all. You just need a medical card. I said, I don't have a medical card. He'll get you one. Points over to a guy, he'll get you one. I said, but I don't smell it around here except for right here. He said, you don't want to get caught smoking it. You have to take it home. And that's kind of good, isn't it? I didn't buy any. Folks, I don't smoke weed. I never inhaled it in high school except for once when my buddy was smoking it in the same car that I was riding, drinking beer. But
that was a different time.
That was a different time, yeah. But I never inhaled weed.
All right, I got to go. Before I go, Saige, there's some questions you had for Mr. Curry. So I
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, he had a story. Okay, sorry, Bob.
On his quarterfinal game and what his life was to be in the next 12 hours. Bob, take it away.
All right.
This is cute.
Well, I always do an annual golf trip in the spring, and it got planned way ahead of time, and they just threw out the date, March 18th, and I said, okay, fine, I'm in. And never thinking that, a possibility we could make this run and it would be a problem. So I prepaid for it. So I ended up leaving for Myrtle Beach at 3 a.m. right after we lost that night.
Oh, well.
And if we would have won, I would have gladly forfeited my $1,000.
Well, when you got a hold of me and said, hey, can you get a hold of Bob? I'd like him on the show next week. I'm like, yeah, sure. And so when I messaged him, he goes, I'm in Myrtle Beach right now. And I'm like, okay. And so that explains it.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was cute story, isn't it, Bob?
That mic is out. Hold on.
Oh, it's out? Well, it's probably best that it is out. But anyway, technical problems here at 103.9. Should we take another break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break.
Yeah, let's take it.
All right, we'll get that.
We got 2 minutes.
When was the last time you checked your tires? At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks, they do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout or worse. Visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.
Come say cheers in Zott's Bar and Grill. Downtown Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people. So come on down where everybody knows your name. Zott's Bar and Grill, the People's Choice Best Soup winner. The burgers are where it's at. Originally opened in 1933 with seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Zots Bar and Grill is a proud sponsor of the Signature Player of the Week for the Hot Stove Sports League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
Hi, this is Pat Curry. We're right here with Brian Miller at 103.9. We talk about what's happening with sports in Big Rapids. Well, we got a new sponsor. None other than the Great Body Shop right on Maple Street, east of the bridge in Big Rapids, Michigan. It's called M&M Collision Center. They're celebrating 30 years of trusted, top-quality auto body repair and remains the name you can trust. Whether you have a major collision repair or a minor fender bender, our award-winning team has you covered with free loaners and vehicle detailing with every repair. They work with all insurance companies and treat every vehicle like it's one of their own. From auto body repairs to supporting local community organizations, giving back to the community is part of who they are. Come and see Matt and Devin and Trish and Justin. Just a great group of people there. Come and see why Big Rapids trust M&M Collision Center of Big Rapids, where quality and community come together. All right, IT guy got us back on around. Here we go. All right, we got to catch up, so we'll all talk real fast. Girls, if you have a question, just go ahead and say it, just like my brothers in auctioneer. All right, back to Bob Raven now. Now we caught up. All right, good. Hey, I know what I wanted to say this morning. Do you know Chris Jackson? Do you know the name Chris Jackson?
No.
Well, her dad, Tom Jackson, had the city hospital, shoe hospital here for years on Warren and Maple. Well, Chris has worked hard her whole life in the car business. And she's getting up there in age. I'd say she's close to 80, 82 years old. Anyway, she went to Mount Pleasant quite a few years ago. She's only probably, if she's 55 years old probably. But anyway, she's worked hard for everything she's gotten. Nobody gave it to her. She's got a great bubbly personality. Looking for a good husband right now, I think. But anyway, that's beside the point. She bought out her partner in automotive sales, and in Mount Pleasant. And you know where the Cheers bar is in Mount Pleasant?
Yes.
Yep, everybody does. It's right next to Cheers. So the reason I bring her up is she was in the gas station last night buying that good Amoco gas at a very low price, thanks to Don Trump. But we'll talk about Donald later, Bob. You can probably elaborate on him.
By the way, yes, I do know because, she's on the air with us, so, it's good.
Yes, and that's why I kind of give her promo here. I asked her, I said, well, did you ever think about advertising on 103.9, the greatest, and it's the newest, oldest radio station in Big Rapids, right? We're the new, but we're old. Anyway, she goes, we are. And I said, well, great. I said, I'll say something for you tomorrow on the sports show. So here I am. Wishing her best of luck.
Now I know who she is. You put it all together. That's it. Yep.
So she's really excited about advertising with us. And I told her we reached to Mount Pleasant. Yep. So it's going to benefit her from the Wademan area, Beale City area.
Especially where her shop is. She's right on the western edge there.
Right, yeah. She used to be over on Pickard, where all the other automobiles sales are at, but she's elected to go off on her own a little bit over on that side, and I think it's a smart idea because there's a lot of traffic right there. And so we wish her well, and hopefully her advertising will work well here. So if you're on the east side of Mecosta County, make sure you go to Auto Group and Mount Pleasant. Good luck, Chris. Love you. All right, back to you, Bob. Bob, I'm going to ask you an unorthodox question. What do you think these girls, we'll start with Saige first, what is she going to say about the relationship and the commitment that you brought forth to her in her basketball career? I mean, let me do that. Let me ask you this. In 10 years, down the road, what is she going to say about the great Bob Raven as a coach? Not what you hope for, but what is she going to say? Or is this a question for her?
Yeah, probably. You could ask her.
No, I'm going to ask you, though. What do you think they're going to say?
No, I think she will appreciate that, the coaching staff worked with her, tried to get the most out of her. And she does have a lot of talent. The girl can hit the softball, too.
Right.
How many home runs you hit last year, Saige?
13.
13.
Wow, really?
She packs a pretty good punch. So she plays volleyball. She's just a very talented girl.
Yeah.
I'll bet if we were playing ping pong, she would be very competitive in that too. So, I don't know. I just think she would look back on her high school days fondly and good memories.
So she would say probably she was coached by one of the best ones, huh, Saige? Would you?
Yes. I would say he's the one coach that has the most aura that has coached me.
Boy, you girls start laughing whenever you start talking about Coach Raven, don't you?
She's just
A comedian?
The man has aura.
Yeah, she's our funny guy on the team.
Yeah. What are you going to say in your 10th reunion when you bring him up to the podium and say, Coach,
When I
learned this from you?
So I'm gonna start it off by saying that he's the spaghetti to our meatballs. He like holds us together, and together we just make it a really good team. But I don't know, I'm just really grateful to have been coached by him. He coached my mom, and it's just really cool to have him and just all that he's done. I don't know, and Shawn, of course. They're both awesome.
Yeah. Thanks. That's good you recognize Shawn, because it does take a good coach to get a good assistant. And again, Shawn's doing a real good job there, eh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Paige? Maddie. How can I forget that, Maddie? Good Lord.
So close.
Brain smaller. The older you get, the smaller your brain gets. So anyway, Mad Dog, 10 years. What do you think? What are you going to say about Coach?
I'd probably just thank them for actually believing in me, because I'm not super confident in basketball, but they show me that I can do better than what I think I can.
And that's something what them coaches can do. So what's more important in your, well, I'm going to go back to Paige. Right? Paige, right? Caitlin. Oh, God. What we ought to do, Bob, is put their names above them. We got to get a neon light back
We'll get
there.
hello, my
Then
name
have a little
is.
sign.
How's that?
Oh, God, I'm sorry. But anyway, what's more important in high school? A good coach or a good teacher?
I would honestly say coach, just because, I don't know, I only have like a teacher for an hour a day, but I like the coach, I just see so much more often, and I think sports can really just build you up as like who you are as a person, and they just really help to foster and create that, and so I would say that a coach is more important.
And Mad Dog, what's your thoughts on that?
I would definitely say a coach, because that just sticks with you for the rest of your life, like a good coach.
Paige?
Saige. I would say the same.
Yeah.
A coach.
Yeah. Well, you know, you think about it, he is a teacher, right? Because he's teaching you life lessons, right?
Yeah.
And someday, I'm sure all three of you want to be good mothers and then have a father image like him on your kids. And great coaching is just so important in our society today, isn't it? Now, if you wouldn't have played sports, what would you be doing if you wouldn't have played basketball? What?
I'd be geeking out over my textbooks.
Yeah?
I would probably already, if I didn't do sports, I'd probably already be in college. I would have just graduated early.
Okay. Yeah, you too?
I'd probably be traveling a lot and going to Africa and seeing the hippopotamuses.
Oh, there you go, yeah. What are you going to do? You're going to go to college, eh?
Yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to CMU. I actually got the Centralis, like their big scholarship, so I'm going for physical therapy.
Oh, good for you. So you're going to, yeah, that's good. How about you, Mad Dog?
College?
Yeah. Are you going to go to college?
Yeah, probably for volleyball.
Okay. Oh, wow, really? Where at? You know yet?
I have some visits lined up, but I'm not for sure yet.
Yeah, good. So what are you going to try to be when you grows up then?
Huh?
I'm being smart. When you grow up. I said, I'm just teasing. You are growing up, but.
I think I want to go into some kind of education or health, either.
Any coaching?
Yet. Yeah, I do want to be a coach.
Okay, I just wondered if any of you guys ever wanted to emulate old Coach Bob Raven here.
Oh, yeah. Just like him.
Saige, you're going to.
I'll probably just go to Ferris, and I have no clue what I want to go into yet.
Well, lay carpet. There's good money in that.
I could.
Isn't that
Maybe
what your
I'll do it
dad
when
does?
my dad's still there.
Your dad does that, right? Grandpa just retired, huh?
I think so.
Yeah. Did Grandpa get to your games a lot, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know him real well. Carpet Gallery right here in town, right? You should have gave them a plug. Every other sentence should have said, my dad owns carpet. Huh?
Plug. If you need carpet done, hit up the carpet store.
There you go.
The Carpet Gallery.
Yeah, the Carpet Gallery. Been there forever. Yeah. Well, Shawn, anything you'd like to tell the girls besides bye-bye Miss American Pie?
Yeah, it's been a great season. Enjoyed having them. You know, they always make us laugh right down the belly button. So it's been a good year.
Really? Do they ever get serious, Bob?
Well, I got to get them. Get them there sometimes.
Yeah. I mean,
it's tough. It's tough. Maddie's being pretty. She's gonna play college volleyball, and she really had a good tournament run. She just turned it on. It was like hocus pocus, and she was just like, she played some of her best basketball there at the end of the season. So she's being a little bit modest.
Yeah.
These girls they're super talented, but they're just so fun to be around. You know, when I come home from practices or games, my wife would say, you know, you really bond well with these girls, and they're easy. It's not me, it's them.
Yeah. How important do you think, Bob, it was these girls came up in your sport there, but the tradition?
Well, we're proud of what we've accomplished, and it just kind of builds on itself, and it's just kind of expected. When they come up to the varsity, they just kind of know what's expected and how things are going to roll.
So you got a lot of young little girls going to the games, and
we had some youth teams, and it was cool to see them up in the stands cheering on there.
Yeah.
They really look up to these kids. I try to tell them, you know, you never know who's up there watching you guys play.
Yeah.
The little girls look up to them, and someday they want to be them, and that's kind of the cycle we've created there.
So life goes by so fast, you know. You got so many memories, but I guess the highlight is an unfair question because you've had a lot of great teams. But that 2012, if we go back to that a little bit, that just had to be unreal.
Yeah, it was.
You know.
Of course, these girls, being the jokesters they are, they always want to know what team I like the best. And
right.
I said, well, it's hard to beat 28-0.
Yeah. It really is. Look at their faces over there. They're all sitting there going.
But then they counter with, well, but what about just being around? Who was cooler to be around?
Yeah, there you go. They get number one. Well, you know, that being said, though, you know, you look at the girls' basketball teams back in '85 and how much they've advanced, and the talent and the technique. There's a big difference, isn't there?
Oh, I think women's basketball has really grown.
Yeah. And just the athleticism is a little bit better than it was back in 2008.
Oh, for sure.
But now I'm going to put you on the spot. That 2012 team, if they played today, would they have won the championship? Could they?
Oh, yeah. I think so. I think they would have. I think they were that talented.
Yeah. But you guys had some pretty good teams in the early or late 1900s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've been competitive.
Yeah,
you know,
but that team back then, I wonder if they could be as good as these girls are today.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they always try to bring back a good racehorse like Secretariat and race him against the fortune teller horse, you know, to see who would win. Well, Secretariat, he was unbelievable, and that was in '73. There's no contest when it comes to simulating another horse racing against him. But that 2012 team, you feel is probably the best team that ever came out of Mecosta County, pretty much?
Yeah, I would like to think so.
And there's nothing wrong with that, girls. No, I love it. They're over there going, we're going to kill. What was your question for me before we leave?
Mine was, what's your favorite part about doing this interviews?
Well, people. I love people. You know, I started out my career washing cars when I was 8 years old. Had my first paper route when I lied, my first lie ever in 1960 probably, 7 or 6 or whatever it was. They had to be 13 to deliver papers. And I told them I was 13 back then. You didn't even have a birth card, you know. Didn't even know my name. But anyway, I got my first job doing paper route, and I listened more then than I do now. But I just want to share this with you. I learned most of my life lessons from an old lady. Her name was Mrs. Cole. And I bet you she was 90 years old and I was 12. And on every Saturday morning, I would go to collect my money from my paper route. And I worked for the Pioneer, and you had to collect enough to pay for your papers because you were responsible. That taught me responsibility. So if I was short, it had to come out of my pocket. I don't know what I made a week. I think it was $1.50 a week. It was my profit. Sometimes I had to take the dollar. It was 25 cents a week for paper. Sometimes I had to take my money to pay for their paper. But Mrs. Cole taught me so much in life. And the reason I'm sharing that story with you is older people that have been through life, listen to them. Listen how they've achieved what they've done. Like Bob Raven here, you know, I mean, you guys listen to him. Believe it or not, 10 years down the road, you're going to say, I'm glad I listened to the coach. He got the most out of me because I listened. He knew what I had to do to be a winner. And that's so true in life. If you want to be a winner, listen to successful people. Bob Raven's a successful coach. So people should come to his clinics and listen. How do you do that, Bob? And I'm sure he's going to tell you, I listened to success. I love talking to people about their life. I sat in the airport here on Monday morning, and I talked to 2 different people about their successful route in life. And I says, how did you get where you're at? And both of them, when it came down to it, was one simple word: I listened. I listened how to be motivated. I listened how to get to the best I could be. And I just love doing this show because I love listening to stories. I'm a very emotional guy. I don't show it at the gas station because I'm a bubbly guy and I'm a hard ass to work for. But I worked hard my whole life to get where I'm at. It wasn't just overnight. It took a long, long time to save what I got today. But you're not going to get it. You're going to sometimes think, this is depressing. I can't do any better than I'm doing. Yes, you can. All you have to do is listen. Listen from the heart. But I know I'm kind of boring you right now, but I tell you what, the greatest accomplishment you can make in life is to make somebody smile. And I do that here, don't I? Mm-hmm. I make you laugh. That's the greatest accomplishment a person can do. Make somebody feel good about themselves. That makes you feel good about yourself. And that's why I really mean this. Bob Raven is my hero. I don't know him that well, but I know what he's accomplished in life. And that to me is a hero. He doesn't realize, I know he's sitting over here going, oh, Pat, you're blowing smoke. No, I'm not, because you know what? There's a lot of coaches out there, and you don't want to listen to them all, but listen to the successful ones, and you'll also be a winner. So there you go. That's why.
Easy X Big Rapids.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I probably went on too long, but that's my life, and I love it. I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything, but I want to tell you one thing last before I leave here, and one thing I do every night before I go to bed and every morning when I get up is I thank God for another day and another day forward. And that's what you should do too, because there is a God. And believe me, if you don't believe there is, you're in trouble. All right, well, Bob, any last words?
No, we really appreciate you having us up here.
Well, you made me smile.
You're a legend yourself in this community, and we appreciate all you do for our area in Mecosta County. We really look up to you. So thanks again.
God, I'm humbled by that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I love Bob, and Bob's going to get a haircut. I love him. No, I love everybody, Bob, and I love you, Shawn. Thanks a lot for coming in, Bob Raven, legendary coach from Morley. You 3 beautiful young athletic girls here. I hope someday I'm alive and 5-10 years from now we'll have you come back as a reunion. How's that?
Oh yeah.
And then we'll really get the truth out of you. Well, God bless America. God bless you, Bob.
This is Alec Gary of Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes in Big Rapids and Barrington. I believe what sets Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes apart from everyone else is our commitment to service excellence. When a family calls, we are there before, during, and after the funeral experience.